My name's Tony Sabanskis, writer, filmmaker, inventor of the H-card, and world-renowned music constructionist, famed for my extensive research with the... and of course, as Chief Technical Officer on...
Baseline! Now put a donk on it. Electro! Put a donk on it!
This week, our special guest is none other than the spectacularly fabulous...
Peter Slater.
Okay then, let's not waste any more time. Sit back and get ready for the highly informative, hugely entertaining, borderline annoying...
Custard Room Podcast!
Thanks. We're live. I suppose first thing, really, is for you to introduce yourself.
Alright, hang on. I'll just turn my phone off first, because I don't like going off. I can turn the bloody thing off.
Yeah.
You can use all this is gold.
I'll do the same with mine, actually.
My name's Peter Slater. I'm an actor, writer, and stand-up.
So, yeah, you stand-up comic as well. Right, we'll go straight into the questions, really. First question on my list. How did you start out in your career?
Well, I remember when I was a kid, I always enjoyed watching movies, and I enjoyed entertaining people. I've got a vague recollection of that, making like people laugh, and I think that was like from watching films. So I'd probably like maybe reenact something. I'd just be doing stupid things. So I didn't have any brothers and sisters.
How old?
I'm guessing like 8 or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
So there was always an interest very early on. So in some respects, I was happy where I always wanted to be. I think I either wanted to be a journalist or an actor. So I got into acting. So that's my earliest recollection of. I think it was just because I think my parents used to watch a lot of films, and then that's what it happened. I just like loved. I seem to have a recollection of like loving things like The Incredible Hulk.
Right.
So
The TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. So I probably wouldn't understand it. I probably like, at the time at that age be thinking, "Oh, this is real," and then somehow thinking, "Oh, I want to do something like this." Turn into a green monster.
we did though, didn't we? Well, no.
Oh yeah, we did. We did a short.
Yeah,
we
Daniel
did
Durka.
a short film.
Oh, that must have been wonderful for
Oh yeah, that's the point. So dreams do come true. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Good little link.
yeah.
And here's the clip now.
yeah. In fact, yeah, let's do it. So this clip's taken from Daniel Durka, a short film me and Peter did, and it's basically where Daniel suffers from a condition called Hulkism, and he has to come to the assistance of someone getting mugged. I'll put the link in the show notes.
I can't seem to hold on to any former job. As soon as the bosses find out my problem, they just make up an excuse and let me go. Well, it's not fair, but that's life. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it just seems impossible to stop.
I normally come this way to relax me, I guess. It's very calming walking this. Hey, oh, here we go again. Whoa!
Oh, what? What are you going to do, eh, nerd?
Give that young woman her bag back! Oh, me too!
Danny Smash, little man! Danny Smash!
There you go. So what type of TV programmes were you watching at the time that give you your influence?
I think it was all like things that were to deal with like fantasy and pure escapism. I think I like that. Yeah. I think there must be something in me where it's like looking around at the real world. This isn't so great, but this looks good. So I think it's things like Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica. I mean, watching them now, they're really really cheesy and camp, but they're all very like tongue in cheek and just good fun.
I used to love Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
Buck Rogers was one of my favourite sci-fi at the time. I did a radio play that was it was a parody of it.
Right.
Zach Backflash in the 23rd century.
You have to be careful you say that. Zach Backflash.
Zach Backflash, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I even did. I sort of redid all the audio, the music on it.
Right.
You know, I kept it to the Buck Rogers sort of style. It was quite good. The actual radio play was awful, misogynistic sort of. It was like a Carry On in Space. It was ridiculous.
Well, I've been watching because there's a show on TV on Freeview TV called Forces TV.
Right.
It's channel 96, I think it is.
On Freeview or something.
Freeview, yeah. And they're rerunning they've rerun Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Airwolf, Knight Rider, Street Hawk. Do you remember that?
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's really good
yeah,
if you want good nostalgia. So I've been watching some of them, but Buck Rogers, some of it is a bit. When you're watching it, you're going, I can't believe they got away with that because there's quite a few sexy ladies in. When I'm thinking back to a kid, maybe I was watching it. Some of these who are these delightful ladies? Do you know what I mean? And some of the stuff is because remember the robot. There's a robot in it called
Twinkie.
Yeah, Twinkie, something like that. Yeah, and this little tin robot. There's this woman in it, and she's not wearing very much. And this was aimed at kids, and this robot's saying, and he goes, "What a body!" like that. And what a body!
What's his name? The guy? Was it Mel Blanc?
Yes, he used to do
the voice for it, didn't he?
But he used to Bugs Bunny and
Captain Caveman, Bugs Bunny. He was 100 voices. He did something like that.
So he was the voice of this, which basically sexist robot.
So my parody of it wasn't really that far out, when you look. But no, it was terrible. Mine. Right, next question. Why do you think you chose the path you did? A lot of people from in comedy, they always say that they it was a way of escaping bullies and things like that.
Yeah, that's interesting because I remember when I was at school, I was bullied very, very, very briefly, and at the time I was too dumb to realise it. But then I did confront this bully, and I vaguely remember. I think I'd twisted his thumb or something, and then I was the one getting into trouble, saying "Why have you done that?" And it's well, this guy's bullying me, so that's why. So I'm not using that. I'm not using that as an excuse because growing up, I didn't have a difficult childhood or anything traumatic. Because I know you hear stories with actors and comics where they've had a very tough upbringing, and then they found that as a way, through comedy, where they can deal with a lot of painful issues. I mean, you think of people like Richard Pryor. He had a very troubled background, and comedy's a great release for them. Very almost cathartic and almost on stage. It's almost like they're going through a therapy or something live. Yeah. So for me, I can't say that. I think it was just something where a gut feeling where I just enjoyed it, and then it's when you're a kid and if you're getting the school productions and that, and if you're performing and people enjoying what you're doing, I think that just inspires you to carry on. So there's no amazing reason explanation. Just I just felt like I could do it, and then the hard part is what do you do now? Because at the time, I had no idea of how you go about it and stuff, and I think it's probably easier now, and then again at the same time hard
through the the invention of the internet.
And also I was trying to think when I was at the level of being a student. I think I was probably one of the last few where you could get a grant to do it and you weren't paying it back. Where now that's not the norm at all. I mean, this is going back 20 years when I finally graduated from Salford, where I went did a HND media performance. So I think it's probably hard in that respect, money-wise. I think that's the problem now where, with any course, it's the debt. People, you're finishing it and then you're automatically in debt. I think I was lucky where there was none of that. It wasn't piling up a load of debt to do a course where now you're paying for these courses.
Yeah, well, you are, but it's a case of, I have student debts, but I pay it back very, very sort of small amount, through wages. I think it's probably one of them things I'm always going to have, but they can't take your house off you if you don't pay it.
Absolutely,
it's one of them.
But I think it's just even tougher now. Everything seems to be getting more expensive, especially in acting. It's that thing. There's been a big debate going on about, was the for working class actors and stuff, and it's going back to that kind of thing where they always used to refer to it sometimes when I was like trying to get into the industry, a very closed shop, like trying to get your equity card.
Yeah,
it was very hard. Now it's a lot easier. But then there's this argument like saying, is it going back to where it's that classic thing with the industry, like, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Which I think, in fairness, that still goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it, again, it's that thing with like, it's frustrating. There's a lot of talent out there, and it's like doing all these different courses. It's the cost of everything,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people have jumped on it as like independents, haven't they? There's so many people offering acting lessons and whatever else. And
that's a big, because even now, because on Facebook, I'll go on. There's various different things for acting jobs.
Yeah,
and a lot of them. They will get like bombarded. I mean, obviously some of these will be great, but obviously some won't be. You've got to do your research and just find out who it is, the people who are running these, like, acting workshops.
I mean, to be honest, there's certain sort of acting agencies within Bolton. I'll not say which one it is.
Right.
But when you sort of see an applicant and they've put that as the primary source of sort of experience, I don't even sort of entertain them, because I know I've had so many from before,
all right,
and they're all pretty sort of amateur level, and they're getting sort of, they'll go to this place and they'll be, oh, you want to start getting into the jobs now, so go start doing your castings and everything else, but they're just not ready. And and it's just a case of they just want, a lot of them just want the money. Some, like say ICAP, places like that, they audition you to go into it. If you're not good enough, they'll just say, you know what, you're not at this level for us to train you at the minute.
You've got to walk before you can run. Like when I was starting out, I mean, obviously, it's all, you join your amateur dramatic society. You dip your toe in. That's what I did. I remember like doing like this, like a pantone. I'd be doing that at night, and then I was going like working part time at a bakery and stuff.
Right.
And then that was a good lesson, that, because what I found was I preferred acting to working in a bakery. So when I was like starting out, I did loads of like, shitty part-time jobs, a lot of them. And then that's a real tester, because obviously, you'd be going down that path, you want to do acting, but then you might do a part-time job and go, you know what, I actually prefer doing this. So you might change it. But I never found that. Everything I did, other jobs, I was like, no, I don't be a truck driver. I don't be working in retail. So it was a tester all the time, because I wasn't like very good at it. There was no interest, but acting, performing, loved it.
It can be a burden, can't it? Because you're never happy with anything but what you're doing. But if you're not getting quite enough work from acting, or and you always have that sort of hatred for doing everything else. Yeah, it can be a bit, because I have the same like issues. I mean, luckily I enjoy teaching, so I don't mind doing the teaching. Yeah, but I still don't want to do it full time. It'd kill me. Because you just kill you. You become a teacher full time, then you just don't get to do the wacky things that you enjoy, like running out making daft films or doing podcasts or doing whatever, the creative stuff.
But even though that's what, because when I was like starting out, especially when I got into my teens, so you would do a lot of things just for fun, like you make like little video. I used to do a lot of videos with my granddad and stuff. Yeah, and just for fun, and it was a good experience, because in that way, even on that very basic amateur level, you're kind of learning on organising things, where you're going to shoot things, even though like no one's getting paid. But you're going through that process. Like looking back at it, I didn't even realise that. But then what's driving that all that time is that passion, that I want to try this idea and just go and do it. I think now, with like obviously the internet, people have got so many resources. I mean, you can people are filming things on their phone. I mean, not everything's going to be great, but there'll be some people that are on it and they can produce some amazing things. So you've got all this like technology. So you've no excuse to say, no, I can't do anything. And I think more and more people are doing that, where they're saying, well, if a production company doesn't want to make it, just make it yourself and get it out there. You just never know. Yeah.
But there always seems to, you're saying, let's just do it for fun. I used to, especially when I was at university, I was doing things just purely because it was strange or it was just fun. There was never an intention to be anything but some little video on YouTube. Whereas now I think a lot of people instantly start and they want that instant sort of gratification from, I'm going to get this signed with Amazon, or Netflix or whatever. And it's this instant thing, like straight away. I've not done anything previous, but I'm going to do this one thing and hopefully I'll get it signed. Because there are these options now, like Netflix is a bit too big, to be honest, but Amazon, things like that. Even though Amazon as a company is massive, the way that they go about, you can independently produce your own stuff and put it on there. You know, but you won't get it on the carousel, but it'll be on Amazon for sale, and it'll, you know. So there is these sort of instant sort of goals really to try and achieve, and I think people they should go out and make some stuff for fun first.
Yeah, I think that's the big problem is there's a lot of like people out there where they can be, or they think they're passionate about it, but then the danger is they just want it now, so they put something down that they're expecting like they're going to get that fame and fortune. Yeah, and the key is you've got to be passionate about it no matter what. If you're serious about doing this, you'll keep doing it, because there's got to be not a lot of knockbacks along the way, and I think that's a good thing. And then you get used to that rejection. It toughens you up a bit.
It does, yeah. You know, I think it's part. You know, like depression and creativity is quite well. You know, it's linked quite a lot, and I think that's partly due to that. Is this, you know, mindset of people automatically wanting to? They've done something. Oh no, it must get out further. I've got to get it out further. I've got to get the recognition for doing it. And when they get these knockbacks, that's when this sort of you start getting lower and lower. Depression sets in with a lot of people. It's sort of,
I mean that's why because I do comedy as well, because I started off as an actor, and then I was at this crossroads around about 96, 98, where, because when I went to Salford Uni, so I'd be, I don't know, 20 or something like that, and I was like, oh, I enjoy comedy and acting, and I was really stupid at the time, and it's like, we can just do both. Yeah, I know obviously I'm doing both, and I find that what helps with this stand-up is for your confidence. Like when you're up on stage, it's just you, and what's different in theatre, like say if you're watching a show and it's not very good, you're not going to start going, you know, booing like Hamlet, saying this is rubbish, Shakespeare don't know what he's talking about. But when you're doing stand-up, they'll just go and they can be doing all that stuff. So I think for that, like, toughens you up a bit, because I find like actors can be more sensitive than most comics. Most comics, you kind of get. I mean, that's you kind of get used to that. You know, each night when you're doing a live gig, you're getting it accepted right there, and you're getting critiqued like live on the spot. Where acting, it's like afterwards. Yeah,
whereas you're reading a bad review.
It might be sort of afterwards, or people will be a bit more polite and stuff, like saying, "Well, it wasn't great." We're in stand up, it's there and then, and you know yourself deep down when something's not gone well. I get that. I went watching Roy Chubby Brown back in the day at Blackpool. And when you watch a Chubby Brown film, I was never a massive fan. It was like, you know, most of it was funny and stuff, you know, like little bits of jokes, but it was a full works too. So yeah, you know what, let's go and watch Chubby Brown. And when you watch anything from him if he gets heckled, he's brilliant. You know, like you've got, oh yeah, this guy's good with heckles. Yeah. I can't wait till someone heckles to destroying him. Yeah,
one of the lad, he was about 3 seats down from me. He'd done this sort of thing where the phone rang and he said, like, answer the phone, fat pants, or whatever it were, you know, shouted to him. Next thing, he stops and I can't believe someone's done that. Right, you're in trouble now. About 3 Scouse security guards come up going, who said that? Who fucking said that? My God. It was like, that was a terrible Scouse accent then.
Yeah.
And he was going, you're in trouble now. And it was just like, oh no, what a child. He could not handle the simplest of like heckles. It was
that weird.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind, they were all looking at me, and I was like, you know, trying not to make eye contact to go, I'm going to get kicked out here for something someone else has done. Like, yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, I was expecting something a bit better, but yeah, when I actually saw him, it was a bit disappointing, really. I mean, the set was fine, you know, I was just a bit disappointed in the way that he handled the heckler. He's one of them people that should have, or tried very hard to break into TV, but could never really break into TV.
I mean, I know of like Roy Chubby Brown, and I've only like seen bits and bobs, and he's not my thing. But I know what you mean, like with dealing with the hecklers. I've seen bits of that, and that's like really good when, you know, just sorting a heckler out. Yeah. But I think his acts, what it became, he was very apparently like clean cut. Right. On the circuit, because I think I was like doing a lot of work in men's clubs, so he was very clean cut, and one night he just got really frustrated and he started swearing a lot. I think this is right, and that's where the seed was planted, where people reacted to this really like him just going off on. So that's where that persona came about.
Right.
But I mean, I think he's still gigging. He's been along around,
yeah,
and he's probably got a loyal following. But it must be really hard for him, especially with like everything being so PC.
Yeah.
You know,
although he probably plays to that and gets the people that aren't PC.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's each to their own and stuff. Yeah. And like I said, I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen bits of it, and it's fun. And there's other stuff. It's just like, no, that's not for me.
I saw Bernard Manning interviewed by Mark Lamar. Do you remember Mark Lamar?
Yeah.
So Mark Lamar was interviewed. He was brilliant on most of the stuff he was on. Why did he disappear?
What happened to Mark Lamar?
He must have fallen out with the execs or something. I think so. Yeah, because he just disappeared, and he was sort of in his highlights. Well, you know, he was on his game, weren't he? Properly, like.
Yeah, because what was the thing he used to host? He
was on the thing with Vic and Bob, weren't he, for a while, for a good few seasons, until he brought that arsehole on, that Will Self.
Yeah,
proper arsehole. Real bad art.
Bad arsehole. Yeah. He's not a good arsehole, a bad one.
Bad arsehole.
Shooting Stars.
He was on that, but he was on the music one, Buzzcocks.
That's the one I was trying to think of. Yeah,
he was a host, wasn't he?
He had a long run on that.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Well, we'll have to Google and find out. He must be probably doing a radio show now or something.
But yeah, back to the point. I was watching him interview Bernard Manning, and Bernard Manning is one of them where you just go, "Oh no, this isn't going to go well." Do you know what? And it was brilliant. Yeah. Bernard Manning was sterling. Honestly, he was fantastic. He did a couple of sort of where he played with the fact of being politically incorrect, but never really crossed any, you know, like sort of lines or anything with what he was saying. And he was brilliant. And I was just like, you know what? I think he might get a bad rep sometimes. You know, like with the press and with the politically correct. I mean, he is. You know, like some of the stuff that he was saying is obviously sexist, racist, everything else. But
yeah, but he was. I mean, the thing is, I remember doing a gig. I played at Bernard Manning's club once. This was back in '99, and it was quite a bizarre lineup because the idea was like Bernard Manning was going to like. I think the idea was they're going to like set up an alternative comedy night at the Embassy Club. So this was around '99. And there's a comic called Smug Roberts, and the idea was like Bernard Manning was handing over this night to Smug Roberts, but this was the bill. So they had Frank Sidebottom.
Right.
I was on doing a character called Peter Pittsburgh.
All right.
It was an ex-Vietnam vet who was now a Neil Diamond tribute act. Peter Kay was on as well.
Right.
And Frank Sidebottom went on, and they hated him. Absolutely died a death.
Weird sort of humour though, weren't it, Frank Sidebottom?
And in that club, and then I was going on doing my thing, and I was terrified. But Bernard Manning was in the audience, so I thought, well, as this coach Peter Pittsburgh, I thought I'll go on and I'll just take the piss out of him because apparently he did play Vegas, Bernard Manning,
right,
and he loved it because I was just like giving him like saying all these jokes and taking the piss out of him. So it worked out really fine. Obviously, like Peter Kay absolutely smashed it, and Smug did really well, but it was just like really odd. And I think the thing with Bernard Manning, he was really funny, but I think all those off-colour gags, you've got to admit, like it is like sort of really offensive. For some people want that, and it is a bit like, but and he was, there's no doubt when I met him afterwards, and he was lovely. He said, I really enjoyed that, and he was a real, you know, he's a gentleman, and it's just really strange when you see all these like stories about saying, oh, he was this, he was that. And it's like, but that might have just been his act. Remember, they call it an act for a reason. Because apparently he would go to a lot of clubs and he would say, what do you want? And they'd say, well, we don't want this, don't do that, fine. So he could give them just gags, clean gags. And if they went to say, well, we want this, we want all your sexy stuff, and you know, we want some of your risque gags, fine, I'll do that. We want you swearing a lot, fine, I'll do that. So he was just saying, I'll give you what you want.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know how we got onto...
I know,
we've mentioned Roy Chubby. I never think I'd be doing a podcast talking about Roy Chubby Brown, who I don't really like. I've seen bits and bobs. But oh well, showbiz, folks.
We'll get back onto Buck Rogers soon.
Yeah.
Right. Up to now, what has been your favourite role or part? I mean, well,
you're mine as someone else's.
No, yours. That's the next question. Actually.
Right. Way ahead of you. Yeah, I'm a mind reader. My favourite part, I think, when I did a show called Ideal with Johnny Vegas, and I think they did 7 series of that, and I got involved on series 3, and I played a character called Alan, and he was this born-again Christian, and he was a handyman. And I don't know if people have seen the show Ideal, but basically about a drug dealer played by Johnny Vegas. This drug dealer is called Moz.
Based in Manchester as well.
And it's based in Manchester, and it all basically takes place in his flat. So you're kind of seeing all the characters that come and go to his flat, and he's just a small-time drug dealer, like just selling weed and stuff like that. But it was quite a groundbreaking show for the time. It was quite unique.
Well, it was quite surreal as well, weren't it?
Yeah, well, they had a lot. And remember, director now, Ben Wheatley, who's gone on to like massive things now. He directed me in, I think it was series 5. And they pulled off some real like surreal stuff. But this character I did, Alan, he was this like handyman, born again Christian. And he befriends Moz, and he thinks he's great because Moz pretends he's a born-again Christian.
Right.
When he realises that if he, reveals that he's a drug dealer, then I'll probably like hit the roof. And then I find out he's a drug dealer, and then it all becomes very dark. But it was really good character play because it was so.
You were trapped in a boiler, weren't you?
No, I ended up killing someone. Well, I thought I killed them, and I stuffed them in a boiler, like you do.
Right.
And I ended up getting my face smashed into a wasp nest, and I lose my mind.
That's right. That's why you ended up with the...
I've got all these bee stings on my face. I'm hiding up in the loft, taking all these painkillers. And then there's a point...
You're right, didn't it? Yeah, I knew there was a point where you were where you weren't on there, but you were... I don't know why I thought you were hiding in a boiler.
Yeah, that was the other guy. That was an actor called Andrew Lee Potts, his character was... he was part of this... rock band or something, and I can't remember why. I just ended up sticking him in a boiler for some reason because he basically lost his mind, this character Alan. And then there's a memorable moment when I'm up in this loft, I'm on all these painkillers, and then I get a vision, and it's Jesus. Now Jesus at the time, he was played by Mark E. Smith, who's sadly no longer with us.
He
was the front man for The Fall, and that was fantastic working opposite Mark E. Smith playing Jesus, which is inspired cast. So that was just a lot of fun because all the people I met, working with Johnny Vegas, we got to work with Mick Miller, again, that connection with all people like Bernard Manning. And
is Johnny Vegas' girlfriend, what was she called in it? Because she went on to do, she did Downton Abbey, didn't she?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never seen Downton Abbey.
Big character. I watched Downton Abbey. She was a big character in it. She was in it throughout,
I kept calling it Downtown Abbey, which is like the musical version, I'm guessing. What was her blooming name?
I can't remember her name.
I know the character name. Oh, it's going to really annoy me because that's the thing. There's so many people in it who've been in tons of stuff. Like you had Tom Goodman Hill, who's been in like loads of stuff. He's been like spam a lot. Ben Crompton, who's in
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah. That was another one. I kept calling it Game of Thorns.
Well, I think there is something with thorns.
The Thornbirds.
Yeah. Just as we're talking about that, there's a cartoon head over there on a stick.
There's a what?
Cartoon head.
Oh yeah, cartoon head. Again, ideal. All these links. Well, yeah, that was good. I think that's been my favourite role so far.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting because that role came about. The creator of Ideal, the writer Graham Duff.
Explain who he is in the series for people who have seen it.
Who's that?
The writer.
Oh, the writer.
Because when you told me, I was like, oh no way. Yeah. He's the writer. Like.
Yeah, Graham Duff plays the character called Brian, who's Moz's next door neighbour.
Is the gay guy with the hi ho?
He goes hi. Yeah, when he knocks, he goes hi, and it's always funny. The running gag was he was always turn up at the door with a different boyfriend, but they would just be like, not.
I remember some old guys and everything. There was all kinds of stuff.
One of the funniest ones, if you should Google it, and so you get to see what Graham's like. There's one where he had a guy who looked like identical to him, but like a smaller version, and he was dressed exactly the same.
I do remember
there was some great stuff.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of things. I think there was one like a Doctor Who. In fact, there was tons of stuff, always something different. He does a lot of stuff with the character called Count Arthur Strong as well, Graham.
I've heard you mention him before. Yeah, the character before. Yeah,
but he's a fantastic writer, and it was just such a good show to be. But yeah, Graham saw me in a show, a sketch show called Bastard Funny. And we did all these different characters, and he saw me in that, and afterwards he complimented, I really enjoyed the show. And then about a year after I got the part, he said, I wrote this part for you in mind. So I was I couldn't believe it. And when I got the audition, that's fantastic. And I love those when that happens, that kind of stuff. You hear these stories, and when it happens to you, when you hear a writer saw you in something, they write a part for you. It's brilliant. So anyways, that's my ideal story. Whittering on whilst you're choking.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I literally.
Meanwhile, back at the podcast,
I had to pause it for a second while I had what do they call it? Frog in your frog in your
heart attack.
Yeah. Right. So next question was the one that you guessed before. If you could play any role, what or who would it be? From Cat, that previous one.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one. That because there's so many, yeah, because comedy wise,
I could see you as a Bronson. What's that Bronson
Charles
one?
Bronson.
Yeah, what's that one that he?
Death Wish.
Death Wish. Death Wish with Peter Slater.
That. Well, they've already done that. They've remade
I've
it.
not watched
with Bruce
yet.
Willis.
I've not watched it yet.
But it's so Charles Bronson's so associated with that role. I mean, they did 5 of them.
Was Charles Bronson in anything else though?
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I think the last one he did, he saw Death Wish 5, The Face of Death. I think he was 72.
He had the face of death then, didn't he?
You've got to think because obviously any relationship he got in with, if you knew his past history, you're thinking you just keep away from him because he's obviously unlucky. Everyone would just get murdered around him, and then he'd go out for revenge, which was nice of him. But it's no good if you were his missus and you'd be you've been killed by a bunch of muggers and stuff. But yeah, I'd like, honest, yes, if it was a serious role, something like that, I love a good revenge movie. So yeah, something like that. But they've done that. I actually did a spoof myself called Death Wish. I think it was Death Wish. We called it Death Wish 6: Vigilante's Paradise. Right. And the scenario.
I've not seen that. Is it video? Or is that?
We just videoed it and we stuck it on YouTube. It's one of them.
I watch it
just for fun kind of things. And so I was playing Charles Bronson, but the idea was it was Bronson, and now he was living in England,
right?
And then he finds out it's ridiculous. I think one of the lines and it was something like, "The Hells Angels are working for the police," and for some bizarre reason, the plot was the Hells Angels are in England and the drug running and the British police get involved.
Yeah,
but I thought that would have been quite a nice setup, having Death Wish
I can
in
imagine,
England.
Yeah, Death Wish 6, that one.
So yeah, I think I'd like to play. It was called Paul Kersey, the character. Yeah, probably something like that. And then comedy-wise, I'd love to do something like, I don't know. I always loved Fletch, that kind of real smart ass kind of humour journalist. Yeah. And then all the disguises.
Well, you said you want to be a journalist as well.
Yes, that was interesting. Yeah, so I'm wondering.
So comedy journalist.
Yeah, comedy journalist. Yeah. So yeah, a role sort of Fletch, and sort of or even a villain. I think villain's always a good time. A Bond villain would be great, something like that.
British as well. With the Game of Thrones sort of, with the popularity of Game of Thrones and Jon Snow, if you go to sort of America now, in certain parts, and the way that we speak, they will literally ask you to try and do some lines from Game of Thrones.
All right.
Do you know? I've literally sort of forgot. I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, but I can never remember any of the characters' names apart from Jon Snow and any of the lines.
You're a big fan then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen loads of British people going over with northern accents, and all the Americans just falling over themselves trying to
really.
Yeah, so you've got a little niche thing there going.
Right. Well, we should do a separate podcast and just say, get me on Game of Thrones podcast. That's a good idea. Well, there's a little thing there, separate offshoot from this.
Yeah.
So the roles, if anyone's interested, we'll remake Death Wish again.
Oh, hang on, let me drop this.
Little plug.
There you go.
So we'll remake Death Wish again, and we'll do. Well, they've been trying to reboot Fletch for quite a while, and they've still not found so they could have a northern version.
So you're putting yourself up for Fletch.
I'll do Fletch, and they've already, because I quite like the First Vacation film, but they've remade that.
But Paul says it's quite good. I spoke to Paul Meyer. He said he quite enjoyed it. It's got low ratings on IMDb, but
so
comedies tend to, I don't know what it is though.
The thing is, with any, I always ignore any reviews, the good or bad, because then there's films what are brilliant, I've watched them, I think are terrible, and then vice versa. There's films I love, and they meant to be terrible and stuff.
I'm a bit of a snob for it. If Lorraine's, especially with horrors.
Oh, yeah.
I can't watch anything if it's a horror and it's under 6.5. If it's under 6.5, then I'm not watching it because it's just normally shite. Do you know, like my missus watches horrors, and I'm not a big horror fan. I will watch them because we'll watch it together, like, but yeah, normally they're just all crap. They really are.
The last one I saw, which was really good, and it was at the Pictures, was that A Quiet Place, which is is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's very good.
Well, that I set out to watch that on a stream. I know.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily an illegal one, but they don't put the caption or the actual captions on, and it's all done. Is it done in sign language?
I'm
watching it and there's no captions on. It's like, unless you know sign language, you ain't watching that stream. It's pointless.
Yeah, I'm trying to wonder if they did have the subtitles on.
They must have done.
I can't remember now. It's just very good that it's so atmospheric. And
the
idea, because I don't want to like give it away and stuff, because I hate that when people say, this happens, that. Yeah. But it's just like when they watch it. And then there's another one, a British horror film I watched called Ghost Stories, that's very good.
Is that with
Martin
Frodo
Freeman?
in it?
Yeah. Martin Freeman's in it, yeah. Frodo.
I like Martin Freeman. Yeah, he's good. He's in another one, actually. It's not really a horror. Well, actually,
it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah. It's okay.
What's it called?
It's okay. He's very good in it.
Yeah.
But the overall thing isn't the best. But he's very good in it.
I saw the trailer for that. What the hell is it called again?
I can't remember. It's like got some zombie thing going on with it. Some 28 days later type deal.
Yeah, check out Ghost Stories. Very good. And Paul White,
I want to watch that. Yeah,
he's in it. He's been the fashion.
No way.
Yeah, he's really good in it as well.
As a serious, saying that, I mean, most of the comedy stuff that he did, he played very seriously, didn't he? Like the guy with Ted.
The
rich
of course,
guy
yeah, from the fashion
Hello,
show,
Ted.
yeah.
where he had like some fascination.
But the guys behind it, I think it's Andy Nyman, is it? He does a lot of stuff with Darren Brown, like he produces his show.
Right.
Jeremy Dyson, who was obviously League of Gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple of years ago, because it started out as a live show down in London, and my missus nearly got us tickets to go and watch it.
Right.
But she's such a scaredy cat, Michelle, my missus. She can't watch any horror stuff.
Right.
So she's a bit put off. So I was like, it doesn't matter. But I was like going, I would have bloody loved to have watched that. But anyway, I finally got to watch it at the Pictures.
Right.
And it's two thumbs up.
Excellent. I will. I will watch that, because even if it's sort of poor, at least you're sort of supporting British film, and it'll be independent, that as well, won't it?
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm not entirely sure sometimes, because sometimes when you go to the Pictures and a film stars and there's like normally, if it's like whatever, Paramount Pictures, it's just one logo, and then you get somewhere, it's an independent, because they go through about 5 different companies,
Canal Plus,
and
BFI,
this and that, in association with Plus, and John's Carpets. There's so many that go through it, and you think about this. I think it was something like Lionsgate who did it.
Right, yeah. Oh, well, I think they're distributors.
Yeah, they're distributors, right.
So I think it could still be an independent, as in... Yeah, I think it is.
But yeah, there's a lot of great British talent involved in that.
It sounds it. I've seen the trailer to it. It does look good. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that, to be fair. Right, next question. What was your best audition?
Best audition? The ones I got.
Yeah.
I've done so many auditions now. Over the years. And
I'll tell you what was your worst audition?
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the worst ones I had, this is going back about, I'm guessing 18 years, something like that. And I think it was, what was it for now? I think it was a show called My Wonderful Life.
Right.
And it was one of, when I was at Salford Uni, what I was doing is, to earn extra money, I got into doing like extra work, and sometimes that's frowned upon, and it's like, well, it's a good way of seeing out what goes on. And what I found was doing that, just how much hanging around there is on film sets, TV, and it's like really boring. And also as well, what's really interesting is just really like, well, you're not referred to as extras anymore.
Background artists.
It's background artists, and I think it's even changed again.
Right.
They've changed it to something else. God. But anyway, old school. Yeah, I was an extra and I survived.
Yeah.
So I did that for experience, and then I got into doing like some small speaking parts, like getting the odd line. And I went for this audition, and I was full of a cold. And I remember the casting woman who was lovely, she called June West, and back in the day she did a lot of stuff for Corrie. And
it rings a bell. That,
yeah, and she was, and I was like full of this cold. And I thought, there's no way I've got this. It was like terrible. I was just like going, yeah, it was just all bunged up. But then I got the part.
Right.
And sometimes you do that to an audition, you'll go and you think, oh, that went really well, I've got it. And then you don't get it. And then sometimes you think, oh, it's terrible, and then you get it. So it's a bizarre process. Yeah. So I didn't have any like major horror stories or anything like that. You just like get through it. And I've not had anyone, like the casting coach, saying,
you've not been Harvey White, allegedly.
Yeah,
Harvey White
allegedly. Well, why would he come on to me?
But
you never know.
You don't even know with Harvey.
You never know.
I watched a film actually a couple of days ago, and it's basically, is it the Banduke? So it's about.
What?
I think it's. I can't remember the title.
Just try and say it. That's funny. This is just funny. What's it called?
Well, the film that they were making. So it's about this filmmaker who writes. Well, he writes a script, and he's a bit of a Brooklyn boy. One of them.
It's not the. So is the Boondock Saints?
Boondock Saints.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. No, is this what? Is Billy Connolly in this?
Yes,
right.
He's in the Boondock Saints. But this is the documentary about it being made and how the process of this guy. And
I remember.
Wow,
and this guy
dude.
really goes to his head, doesn't it? What's he called? The guy who makes it.
I
do remember
Troy something. I think his name.
I think I've seen the document. I haven't seen the film, but I do remember watching it.
Hang on, I think
at first it was like it was big news.
Yeah.
And then he just seemed to alienate everyone.
It's called Overnight, the
Right.
film. I wrote it because I've got like some review stuff.
But I haven't seen it, but they did. I think they've done a sequel to it as well, haven't they? The Boondock. There's a follow-up to
Yes,
that.
they did. So the Boondock Saints, when you look on IMDb, got quite a high rate. It's like 7.8 or something like that.
And it's got quite a cool following from what I know.
Yeah, but I think it lost money. Or probably regained it through, back then it would have been DVD and
Was
VHS.
that Weinstein? Is it Steve?
Weinstein bought the script.
Right.
He was buying this bar for them, and all his job was to create the soundtrack. He was in a band, and he was heavily sort of engaged in this band that he was in, and all his job really was to make sure that this soundtrack was done for the film,
right,
and do a bit of casting. So really, he should have left it to the producer to be hiring, the director and all the other sort of, and he just got heavily involved with everything, wouldn't let anybody sort of do it, right. And they wouldn't give any money out. I think they must have had an advance because they were all on their ass, and then all of a sudden they've got their own place and, all the rest of it. But it just it spirals down from the start, and his head just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it's spiraling down. It's ridiculous. But you'd have to watch it to really appreciate. But that's one of them stories of, I think at the end, it's like he's virtually nowhere.
Well, that's the danger.
He could have made it.
I think if they
Weinstein crushed him.
Yeah.
That's
a good example. If you're working so hard and then it happens, it's how you deal with it. Because if you start pissing off the wrong people, it's like people talk and they'll just, because it's obvious. It's like if you're working on something and you're saying I'm getting these, and that's the first thing on anything. What they like. Don't work with it. As soon as they hear a horror story, it's going to be problematic, because it's that old thing saying, isn't it? Like time is money.
Yeah,
and all like TV shows, any show, there's a tight schedule, so they don't want something where someone's going to be a problem and it's going to get delays and stuff.
They
want it where are they turning up? Are they good to work with?
But so I mean, what he was saying at the end was because Weinstein had taken this unknown guy with this script. Probably, I mean, at the time, Miramax were investing in quite a few sort of low, but like giving a couple, like say Kevin Smith, even people like that, how they sort of nurtured down into it.
Didn't they do that again? I mean, it's a real shame. Because when you think, the irony being is he was green lighting a lot of things, giving people a lot of chances, and it's just silly of what he's been allegedly, which is still ongoing, been doing. It's just like how ridiculous.
I think allegedly he's a monster.
Yeah, that's our favourite word, allegedly. But he did. Good Will Hunting. Wasn't that Matt Damon, Ben Affleck?
Yes,
That was something again great, except given the green light.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, he had a great talent for doing that. It's just a shame that other thing, what we can't talk about, is got in the way and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's happened to a few, hasn't it? I mean, completely unrelated. Well, completely unrelated and completely different. But when I heard about Rolf Harris, I was wounded.
There's, I think,
Rolf, why have you done this? I've got a dual tone style. Yeah, hang on.
Stylofoam.
There's my dual tone stylofoam.
I've got the smaller
the beast.
one.
There's another one somewhere. It's like a little drum machine one.
Oh my goodness!
So
you should give us a
little drum machine one there.
You should use that.
I don't recommend anybody buying these anymore.
You should use that for your theme music for the podcast.
Yeah.
But just don't say it's sponsored.
It's the crackling noises in between I used to love. Yeah. But yeah, I was wounded when I heard about that. It's just gonna. I think they're just gonna keep popping out, aren't they? This is the
thing. Like I haven't experienced it. I've met people who've gone through that, but there is stories like when you asked me about before about like auditions, a good audition, bad audition, and there's not been anything what's been a huge problem. But there's always like stories in there where people, that thing like saying, "Oh, if you sleep with me, I'll get you in this," and it's always it's been going on for like. God, you're going back to like this when film first hit the screen
I'm sure
and
it's
stuff.
been going as long as theatre's been going.
And all across that, all across the board, all the different types of live shows and that and theatre.
I mean, casting couch as a term was used commonly and known. What it was like, oh, come and sit on the casting couch type thing. And it was like,
yeah. I mean, I read a great story because I love reading autobiographies about like movie stars and that, and I read one about Oliver Reed, which is fantastic.
You love Oliver Reed.
They should just they need to do a film about Oliver Reed. That's another role I like to play.
Yeah.
But then I guess like the alter ego I do my stand up, Randolph Tempest, is very loosely based on like Oliver Reed, the antics of him. Right. But yeah, I was reading a story about Oliver Reed where when he was like a young man going for auditions and stuff, and he was getting a few offers off, casting people, and sometimes
Oliver Reed,
Oliver Reed, and he was, and sometimes he would
take them up on the offer.
He would take them up on the
rather than he needed the job
on the offer. And then I'm not sure if he had a girlfriend or it was his wife at the time, and she was aware like this was going on, and apparently I think she wrote it on his either his stomach or maybe his penis, saying "keep off" or something like that. She wrote it on, So anyway,
right. Next question. Any pet hates about the industry or any experience of having them happen?
Pet hates. I think there's just the thing I hate the most is the lack of directness. Like, so say if you like going through an audition and there's no chance in hell you're going to get it, but they just kind of want to appease people. Like, don't waste people's time. If you definitely know you're going to have such a body in mind, then that's fine. Don't waste people's time.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like a lineup, isn't it? Sometimes, a casting sort of. It's like you'll tell the casting director who you want, and then yet they'll supply some randomers who like sort of just dig out themselves because they feel that they might be right. But
I think there's that, and it's also like, say if like on the writing side of something, if you're sending something in and like you're interested in making this, and I'd rather like someone say no thanks, absolutely not interested, and they definitely read it. There's nothing worse when someone gets your hopes up that's going, this is great, we want to make it like that, and then you have a bit of toing and froing, contacting each other, then it all stops. What's going on? And then just not getting back to you.
Communication is my pet hate.
Yeah,
with anything, with a production or sort of applying for everything. If that breaks down, there's no sort of there's no movement at all, is there? Once communication's
it's
brought.
like on the filming side of things, it's just like exactly like when's this being filmed? Are you available? And it's just straightforward. I think sometimes you get like people say, like with a producer, a director, in the nicest possible way, like letting people down easy rather than not getting back to you. It's sometimes like with auditions, you go for something and you're waiting to hear back, and then it's good sometimes where you'll get they'll give you some feedback. Oh, really good, but not this time. Sorry. And then sometimes nothing at all. It's just like, and then they say, oh, we don't have the time, but they should never like sort of build up people's hopes saying we'll get back to you. You say you will or you won't.
I agree. So this one might be a bit personal, but this can go with if you've got any advice as well. So do you make a living from what you do, and at what level?
To be honest, I think it's just, for me at the moment. It's been a struggle. Like you'll get moments where it's good, and then you've got other moments where it's just like, right, there's no work here, and that's the thing. And
you're quite versatile as well, because you stand up. So you're organising like your own nights and sort of featuring on other people's nights, doing MCing or being a comedian on them. You're an actor, so you're applying for acting roles as well as comedy acting roles as well as straight acting roles. What else do you do? You also sing and juggle, don't you?
Yeah, I do that at the weekends for the kids.
So I mean, you're versatile. So I can imagine it being even harder if you were just one of them things.
Well, this is the thing. I think sometimes there's not all actors, but I think there are some actors, and that's it. When they get an agent and they're just waiting for the phone to ring, and then they're doing whatever jobs in between, and it's like you can't just put everything on your agent. You've got to be proactive. So even with me being like proactive, trying to do stuff, it's not always easy. And like I said, it's like with any kind of when you're self-employed. You're not like going to work 9 to 5. It's kind of it's like with a plumber. You know, if they're self-employed, you're advertising. You're trying to like find what you can, and then you have some months really busy. It's great, and then other months it's same like with the acting business.
Feast or famine.
Well, then the good thing is like because then there's a stand-up gig. So if the acting work goes quiet, you just like I'm just always looking ahead, trying to get shows up. And then the hardest thing is when you're doing your own show, and also with people involved, it's like. If you're doing door splits. So there's like a play I've been doing called The Haunting of Blaine Manor. Absolutely love it. It's great. But then, well, what am I going to get? What we're getting paid? Right. Because you're relying on sort of door splits. And then if you're applying for, getting arts council funding, you might get knocked back because that can help cover costs. So
it's similar to being in a band. When you start, more when you're starting or trying to build your name, and you do the Manchester circuit and you go through the usual Night and Day Cafe and the Frog and Bucket and all the rest of them, and it's the same. They'll give you so many tickets, and it's like I can't get anybody to come and watch me like playing a band. You joking? You sell like a ticket, and like one person to come and watch you. And then it depends
where it is, because obviously like with your first few shows, if it's like local, you get friends and family down, and then it's like beyond that. Because now I'm just like kind of just getting into when you've got to advertise on social media and you using that. So you kind of you're like a one man band. You're trying to juggle all these things, and then if you're writing stuff on that, you're trying to put yourself time aside to write that, but then if you're not getting paid for writing, so sometimes I've just got to go where you've got to just go with the paid work. So if something comes along and you're like meant to be, I don't know, writing or filming something for free that day, you're gonna have to knock that aside, obviously. And just get. I mean, the irony being is I've done some like paid work, and I've thought that's not great. I'm not happy with it, or the production's not been brilliant. And it will be like really good money, and then there'll be something what you've done for like peanuts, and you've been so satisfied with that. That's what I mean. It's really weird, but I think that's why it's a good thing if you're doing stuff what you love. So for that one thing where you think, oh, that was dreadful. On the plus side, creatively, you can still be doing things what you're like, proud of. Which will fulfil that the artist in you.
Yeah, that's like it's become your job then. Do you know, like, where you'll do your job, and you like most people, like, I mean, they enjoy the job or they wouldn't be in it. But they don't. It's not their favourite thing in the world. I mean, if I'd just not rather work. I'd just rather do stupid things and like be all the creative things that I do. I'd much rather do that.
But that's right. Work. I'd rather in my life just be struggling doing something I love, rather because I've been in that position where there was a time where I was like doing a day job, working at a printer's, what I had no interest in it. And then at night trying to do like gigs, And then sometimes if acting work coming up and I have to say, "Oh, I can't work today," you know, and then and it was just draining.
We need these highly paid part-time jobs. That's everybody needs a high-paid part-time job. I think, and then it gives you your freedom, doesn't it, to try and do it. Especially one that's where you can go and make your own hours. Like you've just got to do 15 hours a week or whatever. So I can do them anytime. Yeah. You do them at 3 o'clock in the morning till 7 for 3 days a week or something.
Yeah, oh, I wish.
That'd be perfect. Right, next question. We've not got many left anyway. So you've done that. We've done that actually. What's been your highlight up to now? The best performance. Your best. Do you think that was your best performance, or was that just the job that you enjoyed most? The one on Ideal. I
think that was a bit of both, and then also what I'm enjoying is a character I've done myself, Randolph Tempest.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
I tried that out at a sketch night, which was bastard funny.
Yeah.
Which that show which I mentioned earlier, Graham Duff, who created Ideal.
Yeah.
He saw me doing these characters, and he wrote the part of Alan for me after seeing me in that show. And then it was in that show I did this character who was originally called Sir Arthur Conan, the Barbarian.
Remember, yeah.
And there was Henry Normal, who used to work for Baby Cow Productions, Steve Coogan's production company. Yeah. They produced Ideal, and I remember him giving me some advice. He said, he said Steve Coogan used to do a character called Drunken. I think it was pronounced Drunken Disorderly or Duncan Disorderly.
Yeah,
who became Paul Calf. And he was saying, like, it's good for a sketch, like a one-off, because it's a silly, ridiculous name. But he said it's better if you give it a better name. So I came up with Randolph Tempest, who's this actor character, larger than life. And he thinks he's great at everything, and really, he's not, you know. This is a character I based very roughly on Oliver Reed, because I used to love watching Oliver Reed on talk shows. He was always so unpredictable, and he was fascinating.
That's why they got him on the talk show as well.
Well, he was interesting because he was like, he could speak, apparently, he was fluent in 7 languages.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was fluent in 7 languages. Yeah, he was dyslexic.
He's not classing like Australian and American.
No, nothing like that. Because that's why I think sometimes he could be in films in Italy and stuff because he could speak the language and that. But he'd do all these ridiculous, antics on the. I always loved that, and I thought, it'd be great if I could kind of somehow, be inspired by that, and that's what Randolph Tempest is.
I used to love him in the Musketeers.
Yeah,
he was in the Musketeers. Which one was he? Pathos.
God, what was he?
He was the sort of the angry one, weren't he?
Quentin Tarantino. He actually absolutely raised Oliver Reed, and he said he just owns those Musketeer films. He really embodied it, and apparently when he was filming them, the stunt guys would be shitting it because when the sword fights, he was just really into it. And they wouldn't, and I think they were using proper swords and that, and he would get a bit carried away, and they'd be like, "You can fight him today," kind of thing. So, but that's what I miss in the industry as well. Big characters like that.
Well, Randolph is a big character, though, isn't he? In his own mind.
In his own mind, yeah. But then I think that's tapping into you do get actors out there who say they haven't made it, they're not A-listers, and then you get someone they think that they have made it and stuff.
Oh, I bet there's so many influences you could pull in for Randolph, as in from other people's mentality and the way they act and everything. I bet it's rife. Rife with Randolphs.
Rife.
Right, I think it's the last question. Actually, before we start.
Well, I like my strong and I like you too, but you're on decaf. Now how's your brew? Oh, young way. Woo-hoo. Well, I like films and TV too. How about you? And how's your brew? Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Woo.
From 1 being a low mark, 10 being the highest mark, how would you rate it?
So hang on, to keep you in suspense. Ready? Well, this is my second brew off you. I think the first one was better. Maybe that's because I need to like cool off a bit.
Possibly.
Cause it's coffee that, but at the moment it just tastes like warm water, very warm water. So that second one's a bit. That's going to be like a 4.
4.
I think that's being generous. I think the first one was slightly better. Was about 7.
I should have marked that. I forgot to mark that one. But yeah, I'll
Do you
still
wanna
use.
go
No, I'll use the 4. It's better being honest. Isn't it? Do you know what I mean in this industry?
But then we'll come back to it because it might have improved. Because
it's to help me improve as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to disappoint your guests or your listeners, knowing that you're giving them bad brews.
Although because you've got coffee, I've got Lotus biscuits.
All right, so that's just going
this isn't an advertisement, but Lotus biscuits are very good with coffee. I tend to
right. So it's just gone up to a 6 now. And that biscuit gets. I give that an 8. The biscuit gets an 8. The coffee gets a 4.
Right, biscuit 8, coffee 4. What was that? Is it just too weak?
Yeah,
I think it might be the milk. I don't want to put blame on. It
looks good. The colour's good.
Yeah. I think it might be the milk. It's not UHT.
see that's that with it cooling off a bit more. It's just getting a bit better now. I'll tell you what.
You've already rated it 4.
Give that another minute now. It's the timing of it. You should just it always needs to cool off. It's too hot anyway. I digress.
Right. So do you know what it is?
What is it? Oh, is it this quiz?
It's the quiz.
Quiz time! It's time to test your general knowledge in the world of film and production.
Question 1. I'm going to mark you down for these as well, you know.
All right. How many questions are there?
10.
Oh, 10, right.
Yeah. Question 1. What rank did the leader of the A-team reach in the army? It's got you thinking.
Colonel.
Correct. Correct.
Colonel Hannibal John Smith, wasn't it? Yeah.
Second question. Which TV show took place at Wentworth Prison?
Oh. No, I never. Was it Prisoners Soul Blockade?
She used to give me roses.
I never used to watch that.
Did you not watch it?
No.
Oh, it was ace.
I heard the sets were wonderful.
Oh, the sets were ace, yeah. Wobbly walls. Yep, but you're correct, even though you didn't used to watch it. They actually redid it.
They did. Did they actually just call it Wentworth?
Wentworth Prison, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Do you remember the guy who played Harold in...
was it Home and Away or Neighbours? I think
it was Neighbours.
Yeah,
He was one of the writers of Cell Block H.
Oh, right.
I think.
So
as far as because he was in it.
So good.
Yeah, that's why it was fantastic. Yeah. Right, question 3. What was the name of the character on Blackadder played by Rick Mayall?
Oh, Lord Flashheart.
I take you were on a roll, weren't you? That's
he was wonderful. He's missed, isn't he, Rick Mayall? He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't remember who I was speaking to. He said started watching Bottom again.
Oh,
it must be on. Oh, my brother. Yeah,
and they did the live shows.
I think they're on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lorraine. I bought Lorraine and her mum tickets to go and watch the Abandoned on an Island one.
That was it. Yeah. Because obviously I remember the young ones, and then do you remember Filthy Rich and
Cat Flap? Well, I was telling him about that.
That was like in between, wasn't it?
Rich is Rich from that.
Right.
And Filthy was just Eddie. Do you know?
So, right, so that was a continuation from that.
It was sort of a continuation. They
for years.
sort of continued the two characters. Yeah, it was. I think they were the TV advertising agency or something like that. It was weird.
I can't remember. It's so long ago.
It was a strange story that as well. It was like BBC had like a half-hour slot that they needed filling, and it was like, you'll do.
Right.
It was literally sort of so easy, you know.
Because I think they only did one series of that, didn't they?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, and I think it was just a case of they just made it up on the spot, most of it, probably, you know. Right, question 4. What is Postman Pat's cat called?
Oh, God.
I don't even know whether this is still on, Postman Pat.
Struggling with that one. I'll have to pass on that.
Oh, you were doing so well then as well. Right.
It's all downhill now.
Who directed the 1976 film Taxi Driver?
Oh, Martin Scorsese.
Correct. Which fictional TV character runs a production company called Pertree Productions? Think of the song. What else has a Pertree in it? I shouldn't have given you...
It's Alan Partridge, isn't
yes.
it? Alan Partridge,
well done. I think you give you too many clues on that one. What's the name of Gorbo's uncle in Fraggle Rock?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Do you remember Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, down at Fraggle Rock. What was the question again?
The name of Gorbo's uncle. Uncle's in the title.
Yeah. Uncle's in the George. No idea.
No, sorry. Uncle Travelling Matt. What is Austin Powers' middle name?
Oh, I've no idea. I mean, they did three. I've only seen the first one.
I think he says it in the first one.
Does it?
Yeah.
No idea.
Danger.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Next to penultimate.
Penultimate.
Who plays the TV detective Columbo on TV?
Oh, Peter Falk.
Of course. Well done.
He's got a good autobiography as well.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Just one more
he
thing.
had a glass eye, didn't he? I think
did.
it was you that told me that.
Yeah, there's a great story in that. It's actually on the back cover of his autobiography. And he went to the opticians, and I can't remember which, if it was his left or his right eye. Let's say it was his left eye, which is the glass one.
Yeah.
So the optician says, right, cover your left eye and read, the chart, what they have with the letters.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, read the chart with your right eye. Does that. He says, now do the same with the left. And Peter Falk says, the left is a glass eye. And the optician said to him, well, just try your best.
That's a true story, folks.
Right, last question. How many have you got up to now? Hang on, 1, 2.
This was the last one. It's 10, said there were 10 questions.
Okay, I'm struggling with.
I think I've got all of them apart from.
You didn't get the
I didn't get Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock, so we'll delete 2.
And what was the other one?
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Oh, you're on 6 up to now.
Right, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best.
It's like a school report. This.
Last question. Who should play the new Doctor Who after that woman?
That's awful. You're not keen on there being a woman Doctor Who.
To be honest, I'm not. No.
Well, I do you know what?
It's not a sexist thing. I don't think. I'm sick to death of sort of just swapping it for the sake of swapping it. I think it's the political correctness.
The thing is, I'm surprised they haven't done it a lot sooner though, because the whole idea with that regeneration thing.
With Doctor Who, it's fair enough.
They could have done it a lot. They should have done it ages ago. It's surprising it's never been addressed.
Ghostbusters.
But I think they've always. I haven't seen it. But sometimes I hate it. Like when they keep doing remakes and reboots. It's like if the film is such a classic, leave it alone. Be inspired by that.
Yeah.
So do something. If you want to do something like Ghostbusters, well, do something similar. I don't know.
I'm sure they could have. They could have continued Ghostbusters. Surely they could have been the nieces or something.
Sort of you could have done a story where Dan Aykroyd, it's just him, the others have left for whatever reason, and then he's starting up afresh in that. And anyway, but I still haven't seen that.
Yeah,
but who do I think would Doctor Who would play that? Well, I think if he was still alive, I would love to have seen Oliver Reed play Doctor Who. I think that would have been. Fantastic.
That would have been good, but it's got to be someone alive, so we can, we can petition it, hashtag it.
It'd be really good for Doctor Who. I'll have a go if you want.
You?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying me, but I'll have a think. But yeah, I'll think of someone who you think, they'd be absolutely brilliant.
Well, it's a question.
I know. But yeah, you can. Trying to think, that's tough. That.
I didn't really like Capaldi. I love Capaldi in the thick of it, and when he first got sort of announced that he was going to be the Doctor, I think it was instantly sort of a bit, but just because of the fact that the use of language and the dialogue in the thick of it, and his character in the thick of it is so aggressive.
See, I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen. The last time I watched Doctor Who was, I think it was. I watched it when Christopher Eccleston was in it, and then who was it? David Tennant and Matt Smith.
Yes,
and after Matt Smith, I stopped, and I thought they were all did well and stuff.
He's very good in The Crown. Matt Smith. He plays Prince Philip in The Crown. Very very good.
What I felt for me with Doctor, I think the reason I stopped watching it, I felt at times it just got a bit. I never felt there was any sense of danger. He's going to be all right. And sometimes when I get to that, it's almost like a bit of smugness. And there's sometimes I just kind of felt. I don't know. I just like, I just drifted off. I think I discovered Breaking Bad. Something really, really amazing to watch and going, oh, this is very good. How about Bryan Cranston as Doctor Who? Go for that.
Bryan Cranston.
Let's make a
American.
Let's throw out something controversial. Regeneration. Bryan Cranston doing an English accent. I give it to Cranston.
No, that's wrong.
But that's great. But to me, that's a producer's. That's why I think it's good. Who's the actress then who's playing Doctor Who?
I can't remember. I don't know whether has she been. She must have been in things before. Although Matt Smith, I'd not really seen him in anything before.
Yeah,
he was sort of.
So that's because I've not been following it for past few years. I wasn't even like aware of the actress or what she'd done. So
mine. Well, the correct answer.
You got someone, obviously.
If it was, like say, if it was like 10, 15 years ago, I would have picked Richard E. Grant. I would have said Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant would be great.
Yeah, I think he's too old now. Right. A little bit too old now. Because of the BBC and they want him fresh blood, like with Matt Smith. Although Peter Capaldi's no spring chicken, but did have to go younger. There's a guy called Daniel Rigby.
So you've been in...
Have you seen Flowers?
No.
The only thing he's been in is, I think, is Flowers.
Flowers, all right.
Is it, the guy from The Mighty Boosh? Not
which one?
Not the one with mad hair. The
one
with beady eyes.
Julian Barrett.
Yeah, what was he in? Mindhorn.
Because there's no. What's he called? No.
Mindhorn. Do you remember Mindhorn that was out recently?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've not seen it. Yeah. But him, So he starred in this series called Flowers, where he's an animator or a story writer or something.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
marriage is falling apart, weird family, all that type of thing. But what's his name? Daniel Rigby. He plays his son.
Right.
Brilliant. The only other thing that you've probably seen him on was the BT adverts. The open hub. He plays the nerdy one.
Well, when the adverts come on, I mute it. We mute it because it's just like you're just bombarded with that. That's why if something's a BBC, it's great because there's no adverts. But it's how with the film adverts come on, just mute them because you're just bombarded with all this crap. What you're being like sold and stuff. Yeah. So so the adverts, just don't really like to take them in the adverts at all.
Yeah. Yeah. But saying we've got a difference of opinion, I'm going to have to do one thing. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, God.
Right, I'll go to the deserts then. He only lives a couple of streets away. I'll tell you what, I'll put some music on.
Vera, take me with you to the spaceship in the sky. There's nothing left on Earth now that you're gone. Vera, take me with you and I'll bring some apple pie. There's nothing left on Earth now that you're gone.
I don't bother knocking. Deza?
Yes?
Just a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think should play the new Doctor Who when that woman's finished?
Well, I think it should be Daniel Rigby. He's a young guy from the TV drama Flowers.
That's what I thought.
Stop coming at tea time.
Okay.
Okay, ta.
Actually, you know what? I might as well put the rest of that tune on. It's a song about a guy who thinks his wife's been abducted by aliens and he wants to take her some pies. So I've listened to that while I walk back.
Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone. Vera, take me with you to the spaceship in the sky. Nothing left on Earth now that you're gone. Vera, take me with you and I'll bring some apple pie. Nothing left on Earth now that you're gone. There's nothing left on Earth now that you're gone.
The Desert said he agreed with me. And let me get on the other mic. That settles that. The Desert agrees with me.
Oh, well, fair enough.
And Desert is the font of all knowledge. So
well,
there's no...
if you say so. I'm just your guest.
Right, so, yeah, before we wrap up...
Big plug!
So, have you got anything, any productions, projects, anything coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah. Well, currently we're doing this Randolph mockumentary, which I'm doing with you, Tony, if you remember.
That's right.
So that's like a work in progress. We're just filming stuff when we can, where we can.
Explain it a little bit then, please.
Oh, basically, Randolph Tempest is a coach I've created who is this deluded actor. The best way to describe him is he's a bit like the late Oliver Reed and that. And the idea in this mockumentary is you're following his career where he's at now. He's had a very successful career in this franchise, a bit similar to, say, Harry Potter. It's on those lines. He was the lead role in that.
Crispin
Moonbeam is the character. Crispin Moonbeam and the Death World series of films. And anyway, for various reasons, which I won't go into now, he's kind of fallen out of favour. He's on hard times and he's doing what he can to get by, and he's doing like these acting workshops and Q&As and anything, local adverts, voiceovers for anything.
Yeah.
And so it's just basically this, like a mockumentary, like following me around in that. And it's set in the Northwest, so he used to probably living down in London or over in LA, and now he's hit at hard times. And it's basically just this, show, in the very funny way of how he's getting by day by day.
Yeah.
And he takes a young actor under his wing, and he's kind of, he says he's helping him, but he's just using him to help pay his rent. So he's saying, you can live with me in my flat and everything. So there's that which is ongoing, and then live shows. I'm doing a show at 3 Minute Theatre, which is in Manchester, which is on Oldham Street, where Affleck's Palace is. It's the ground floor of Affleck's Palace.
3MT on social media.
Yeah, and they're on Twitter. If you put at 3MT. And same with Randolph Tempest, I'm on Twitter for that, which is at Randy Tempest.
You've also got some back catalogue of Randolph Tempest, like a couple of short films and stuff on YouTube.
On YouTube, there's one which won an award, which was produced by Jill Isles, who used to work for Baby Cow, and she's recently done the third series of The Detectorist. She produced that in Carshire. She was a producer on that.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Jill through working on Ideal.
Yeah,
and I actually pop up in The Detectorist in series.
Yeah,
in the Christmas special.
Right, sorry,
which is part of series 2. It's like an add-on to that.
I've not started watching series 3 yet.
Yeah, I still need to watch it. Everyone's saying, it's brilliant, and I still need to watch the thing.
It is really, the first two seasons were, First season was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been winning BAFTAs for best scripts, and Toby Jones won a BAFTA recently.
Yeah, Toby Jones is a massive actor now, isn't he?
Jill, who she produced series 3 of The Detectorist and Carshire, she had a hand in doing this. The Misadventures of Randolph Tempest, which was a short film done in 2012, and that won an award at Filmic Best Comedy.
Well, the one that we've done one as well,
and
together,
we've done one,
the Randolph Tempest Professional Thespian, which is more of a documentary,
which is more. That is the style.
We got finalised for the Intel Award.
Yeah, I was saying that. Then that got up for something as well.
Yeah, it was. It was quite. It could have been quite lucrative. That.
So so if you want to see Randolph on YouTube, you can check those out. If you just Google, do a search for Randolph Tempest, that'll come back. Yeah. And if you want to catch him live, 3 Minute Theatre Manchester on the Friday the 29th of June.
Yeah.
And then we do, the show's called SOS Comedy. Again, that's on
I was going to say, if this doesn't go out till quite late...
you've missed it.
You've missed it, so tough.
But then
you can follow SOS Comedy on Twitter as well.
Yeah, at SOS Comedy. Same with Randolph. Randolph's on Facebook as well. SOS Comedy's on Facebook. There's a Randolph Temperatures on Instagram as well. There's another thing. All these bloody
I know
things you've got to be.
I don't do Facebook anymore. Do you still do Facebook?
I do. I like plug a lot of gigs on Facebook. What I've got coming up. And if you missed the one in Manchester, if you want to travel to lovely Oswestry in Shropshire,
where is that?
We're doing the Oswestry. Go on, say it, Tony.
Oswestry.
There you go. I'll do. Yeah. So that's a lovely place called Herman Arch Chapel Centre on the 7th of July.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then earlier that day I'm doing a workshop as Randolph Tempest. So if you wanted to do a character comedy, do some character comedy, then he will guide you. Oswestry.
Oh, is it Oswestry?
Yeah, he'll get you to say it. And that's on Saturday the 7th of July. So hopefully this might go out.
Yeah, it'll be out before that, yeah.
So if you missed them, but we'll probably be back in Manchester again. I think we're doing like a winter show.
Right, cool.
And then I'm always like doing gigs as Randolph here and there.
Are you going watching Eaten by Lions? Jason Wingard's latest.
I'm in Eaten by Lions. That's a film.
Are you in that?
Yeah, I'm in that.
I didn't know you were in it.
Yeah, I play a security guard.
Right.
The original short, what they did, I think that was called Going to Mecca, and they've changed the title to Eaten by Lions. I was in that, and it's basically word for word the same part what I did in the short film.
Right.
But it's a great cast, yeah. Johnny Vegas in it, Kevin Eldon, Jack Carroll from Britain's Got Talent.
What's the guy called? I don't know the actor's name, but I know that he's in the other series, the People Just Do Nothing.
Oh, of course.
Chubuddy G.
That's it.
Chubuddy G.
He's in it. Tom Binns from Hospital People, he's in it. So there's a lot of big comedy names.
Yeah, excellent.
But yeah, that's good.
Are you going watching it? It's soon, isn't it?
Apparently it's getting its premiere at the Edinburgh International Film Festival.
Yes.
I think that's the 22nd of June.
Yeah,
and then it comes to Manchester at Home Cinema, and they're doing a Q&A on the 30th of June.
30th,
but no, I've not been invited yet, so I'm just going to see if they invite me.
Right. I bought tickets,
and if they don't, then I'm going to buy bloody tickets.
Yeah, no, don't. Although it is quite cheap. I think it's £7.
That's great. That's very good.
But you still don't want to pay for it if you were in it.
Yeah, well,
saying, Jason. Do you know if you ever listen?
Yeah, I'll.
Although I want Jason down as a guest one day.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get Jason. You can just ask him. Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing. There's something else I'll pop up in Coronation Street. Episodes.
Oh, you're not going to know when, though, are you?
I do. They've let me know. The 30th of July, because obviously everyone will want to watch this.
Oh, yeah, you've got to watch that.
And the 5th of August, I play a character in that called Jimmy Cripps,
right?
Who's a pest controller.
Right, and it's like a comedy character.
Yeah, and here's another link with that. The guy who wrote one of the episodes, David Isaac, he's a friend of mine, and I didn't even realise he'd written this episode until after I got the audition.
So he's wrote the full episode?
Yeah, he writes for Coronation Street. And
I thought he was the script editor.
He was, and years ago, now he's finally writing episodes.
Right.
And he also co-wrote Eaten by Lions with Jason Wingard.
Right.
So it's interesting, these people I've known for years have been... paths have been crossing and we've been working together quite a bit. So it's all nice, all links up.
Yeah, the future's looking bright.
So I think I've covered everything there.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, thanks for coming in. It's been a very interesting conversation that we've had for me. Hey, I tell you what, we've done some time. Hour 20, something like that.
My goodness, we'll get that into about...
What were you saying? We should do 20 minutes or something?
15 minutes. There's me saying, I think you should do these podcasts 10, 20 minutes, an hour and 20. Bloody hell, like gossiping.
Right, so, toodle-hoo.
Bye.
You've been listening to a confusing load of bollocks. The views and opinions of any guests are not necessarily that of Custard Room Productions. And if you were offended or do not agree with any of the comments, please take it to Twitter and we'll ignore you. You snowflake.
This episode was sponsored by Bolton Film Festival. Visit the website for more information about what will definitely become the Northwest's best film festival and competition. Also, visit alexanderdoddy.com. for all your voiceover and narration needs. He provides a full professional service, all digitally supplied. Remember to check the show notes for links to any films or social media mentioned throughout. Or if you're thinking of sponsoring the show, please contact me at Custard Room on Twitter. Thanks for listening.